All righty, guys, welcome into the AfterSchrock, the little segment we do after the program to answer any questions that maybe didn't fit into the actual program itself. This Facebook thing has been weird for me lately. It goes for a few minutes and then it ends. If this broadcast ends for some reason, I will open another one. The second one I open is always great. I don't know what's going on with Facebook aside from the whole like we're monitoring everything you do thing, but you know, it is what it is. All right, so I don't know. I'm looking at this weird story, and I was just kind of curious about it for my wife. It's called, the headline says the Turtle robot is like a Roomba for your garden. If you don't know what a Roomba is a robotic vacuum cleaner that vacuums your house. It goes everywhere it needs to go. You just basically have to remember to empty it every day, and it vacuums your house like every day when you're not home. So that's kind of neat. A startup developing a weed whacker robot for gardens just got backing from an industry heavyweight. So it's a weed whacker for gardens. I don't know if I would trust a robot weed whacker in my garden. But this guy he was the guy that developed it was working for iRobot, which is the company that made the Roomba. So happy times there. All right, so this is the time to ask any questions. If you have a question that didn't get in on the show, you can ask it. If you have a question that really wasn't relevant to the show, this is where you can ask it. If you have any question at all, comment, air it out. Trust me, guys, it's been a frustrating week over at the service centers. The guys have been banging their heads against the walls because of this whole creators update thing. But this is why we do it. This is why we do it. And you know, if now at least you know if something goes wrong, that we did plan for how to handle that. So now you know that we got your back if something goes sideways on us. All righty. All right, welcome back, guys. Good to have you. Good to have you. All right, let's see. The second generation Ryzen processors have been, well, they've been sent to people to benchmark and evaluate. So they're not out on the market yet, but you're going to start to see motherboards now, especially high-end motherboards, that are going to support the Ryzen 2000 processor series, which uses the same socket. And this is exactly one of the reasons why in our modular computers that we're so particular for AMD. If this was an Intel chip, every single Intel chip gets a new socket, which means you have to buy a new motherboard. Sometimes you have to buy new memory, and it becomes a huge upgrade deal. With this, if you buy our $599 boundless computer, the entry-level model, cheapest computer we sell, you could put a Ryzen chip in that computer. And you'll eventually be able to put a Ryzen 2000 chip in that computer. So if it was Intel, we wouldn't be able to do that. But because it's AMD, the upgradability is just off the charts on it. So it's kind of a nice feature there. But these new chips that are coming out, just Intel's on the ropes. They don't have an answer for it. And every time Intel thinks they have something in the pipeline that's going to cause AMD some grief, AMD comes out with something new and bigger. So the Ryzen 2000 chips, the reason that they're so backward compatible is because they're the same exact pieces of silicon. They designed the original chip, and then they throttled it back because they didn't have to release its full potential to beat Intel. So they throttled it back by like 75%, and then they released it, and it was faster than Intel, and they got great reviews. Everybody was great. Intel came out with something a little faster, so AMD released a new chip, same chip, they just loosened that throttle up a little bit. Now it's faster than Intel again. And they're going to keep doing this, whereas Intel has to come up with next generation designs every single time. All AMD has to do is let a little rope off the chain, and then they can beat Intel again. So the Ryzen chips are going to be around for a very long time. I'd say for the next decade, they're going to be the dominant performance processors in the marketplace for sure. All right, so Russell, I have a Mac with a solid state 2 terabyte drive that's crashed and says it only has 370 gigabytes before it had 1.7 terabytes, so I'm not sure what happened. Okay, so the fact that it says it has 370 gigabytes instead of the 1.7 terabytes, basically when you format a hard drive for a computer, it creates multiple partitions on that hard drive. So it might be detecting a different partition, first of all. The second thing is 370 gigabytes is pretty sizable. We see something similar to this on Seagate mechanical hard drives. When the hard drive fails, like it can't read the platters, but it can read the cache. And the hard drive gets confused and thinks that the cache, which is the on-chip memory, is the storage space of the hard drive. It'll say it has 32 megabytes of storage in this hard drive. Well, obviously 32 megabytes would be pretty small. That's, back to 1980s kind of size. And that's obviously a malfunction. So maybe something similar is going on here. solid state hard drives, when they die, they tend to die spectacularly. They're very resilient. They last a lot longer than mechanical drives. They're not susceptible to J-shock, G-shock, any kind of vibration. They're great. But when they go, they go. So a 2 terabyte solid state, it's a pretty pricey hard drive. If you want, Russell, you can bring that into the service centers and we'll take a look at it for a data recovery for you. We don't charge anything for data recovery evaluations. So if you want to bring in the whole Mac and say, hey, here's what happened, can you take a look at it? The guys on the repair side will hook it up and see if they can't get it fixed without sending it to the data recovery lab. If the drive itself is not performing properly, they'll send it back to the data recovery lab, and then the data recovery lab will go through it, figure out what needs to happen there to get it up and running, and then we'll turn around and get you your data back. So either way, no matter what happens, we can help you out, but try to get that in sooner rather than later, because you don't want to keep trying to power it on, because it's not going to get better, it's only going to get worse. All righty. Yep, didn't seem to have any updates with the Microsoft update. That's great. That's Safe Upgrade doing its job, or if it auto-installed, that's great, but the update that you got is flawed. It does have a vulnerability of some sort that Microsoft won't tell us about, and you're going to get a new one in about 2 weeks. Okay. Jamie, I recently purchased a used computer from work. It was on the bench during the time when the free Windows 10 was available. So when they rebuilt it, it has Windows 8.1. Is there any way to still update it to Windows 10 for free? Unfortunately, there is not. There's no longer a way to do the Windows 10 upgrade for free, officially anyway. So one of the things, let me see if this is still available out here. You can go out and get the Windows 10 Media Creation Tool. This is how we were getting around it before, when it had technically ended but hadn't. So yeah, you can go to, if you Google Windows 10 Media Creation Tool, you can get a media creation installer for the Windows 10 Fall Creators Update, which is the most recent one. Now that it's been rolled back, is the most recent one available to get. Once you have that one, you can go ahead and try to install that on your computer. It may detect that it'll detect the Windows 8.1 key, and it may try to activate on the 8.1 key. If it doesn't work, you will be able to roll back that upgrade and go back to Windows 8.1. So before you spend the money on the Windows 10, I would go ahead and try this, but otherwise, the other solution is to let this update go. They'll give you 30 days to activate it. Test drive Windows 10, decide if you like it, and if you do, pick up a copy of Windows 10. We can get it for you, or you can find it online, Amazon, Newegg, any place like that, and install it on the computer, and you should be good to go. Or you don't have to install it. You just type the code in. It gives you the code on the thing, and you type it in, and you're set. I think on Newegg, actually, Newegg.com, you can actually download a virtual code as well. You don't even have to wait for shipping. You can just get it. It's kind of nice. All right. I told Windows to pause all updates till May, but it's updating anyway. Is there any way to stop in the middle? No. In fact, you can procrastinate updates in some cases until May if you're running Windows 10 Professional or Windows 10 Enterprise. Those are the only two that you can do. But if you did the Spring Creators Update when it was released, that reset those settings, and it's going to install the updates from the last patch Tuesday. Some of those updates were pretty important too, so you probably want those. But basically, to delay your updates, you have to be running Pro or you have to be running Enterprise. Otherwise, if you're a home user, you cannot delay your updates at all, unfortunately. All righty, last call for questions, guys, because I got to go grab the crew donuts. I doubt anyone will be awake when I get home, but that's okay because everybody needs their sleep. Even little baby Katie, gosh, she's not a baby anymore. She's 5 now, but she's still coming into our bed at night, and we're trying to break. She's special needs, so it's one of those things. She doesn't have language. She doesn't talk much. She understands language, but she's about linguistically. She's about terrible twos right now, and she acts like terrible twos right now. So literally, if we tell her to go back to her bed, she will slam herself down on the floor, hissy fit, and wake the baby up. So we let her come in the bed, and then the baby wakes her up. It's kind of funny. And she gives the baby look. She's like, like I'm trying to sleep here. We're like, go back to your own bed then. You have in fact, there's an empty bed in the other room. See ya. Now my wife offers. She says, you need to go and sleep in Katie's bed tonight. Take her back in there with you and go sleep in her bed. And I was like, no. I need to help. I don't want to be that dad that, I'm sure you're fine, dear. And then go and hide in the other room. I need to be helpful and involved. But yeah. So anyway. All right, it's still stuck at 16%. Okay, So if you have an update and it's installing and it's giving you a percentage, that's actually doing the actual installation of, it may be doing the installation of the Spring Creators update. It may have downloaded that and started the installation. How long has it been frozen at 16%? I'm going to type that in because I think there's a delay on the speech here. How long has it been at 16%? Okay. So basically, if it stays at 16% for a long time, now when I say a long time, I'm talking 24 hours, okay? Leave it sit for a long time. Because if we interrupt this update, we have the possibility of seriously screwing up the computer, okay? We don't want to, when it says please don't interrupt the update, they mean please, please, please don't interrupt the update. There is a safety measure that it should roll back, but if it doesn't roll back, or if it's in the process of moving your documents right now, for example, you could lose all your documents and things. We don't want to do that. All right, it's only 10 minutes. That's nothing. 10 minutes is nothing. Some people it took 3 or 4 hours to install this update. So let it sit. Let it sit. I would let it sit for no less than 24 hours until you make a decision to do some kind of a hard reboot or something like that. Some computer towers have lights on the front. And if there's usually a red light and then like a blue or a green light. The red light that's blinking is your hard drive activity indicator. The faster it blinks, the more stuff is going on the computer. And if it's rock solid, that means that your hard drive is running flat out at top speed. So if it's doing that stuff there, if it's blinking or solid or anything like that, the computer is working, you want to leave it alone. Yeah, 2009 laptop today. Okay, yeah, 2009 laptop. That's gosh, what is that? That's 9 years old. That's pretty up there. So basically, we use a Goldilocks method for the laptops in the service centers. We have a low, medium, and a high. The low model is the boundless, and everyone says that's all plenty for all what I need. I don't need anything more than that. And while that is true in many cases, the boundless is we carry the boundless because we have to compete with Best Buy and the Mart and everybody else. We have a $599 computer. They have a $599 computer. Guess what? The low-end computers are completely non-upgradable. I'm talking you can't even add memory. Nothing. It's like a tablet. You get it, you use it exactly as it is, and then you throw it away. We can swap the hard drive. That's about it. And we already did that. When you get it, you get a solid state. So we've already done that one swap. So I try to steer people away from the boundless, or from the, excuse me, I'm talking about the boundless is the desktop. The Resolute is the laptop. So I steer them away from the Resolute laptop whenever I can, unless they're just dead set on buying the entry-level laptop. Sometimes it's the right move. You know, Dad's 90 years old. He's in a nursing home. I'm not too concerned about upgradability if you catch my drift, Thor. Understood. I'm not going to argue with you about that. One time I had a lady come in and say she has stage 4 cancer. She's not concerned about upgradability. Not going to argue with that either. All right, you go on. If it was me, I'd get the fastest computer I could possibly get because it sounds like time is valuable right now, but that's just me. On the other end, we have the Galant, which is the high-end model, super expensive. You know, it's $800 for a laptop. That's pretty pricey. It's got a bigger hard drive. It's got a faster processor. It's got some nice bells and whistles. If she has a 9-year-old computer that's doing her well right now, she probably doesn't need to spend that much money. So right in the middle, we have the Endeavor, or the Intrepid. Sorry, I keep giving the desktop model names. The Intrepid is the one right in the middle. It is the best of all the worlds. It's got a slightly larger solid state. It has upgradable memory slots. It's still got the 15.6-inch screen, still has the 10-key pad on the side, comes with a DVD drive still. Has an AMD A9 processor, 7th gen. So it's an APU processor. So it's basically the same socket as a Ryzen chip would use. It's a nice laptop. So that's where I would normally point you to, and right in the middle, unless there's a reason to go somewhere else. But thanks for thinking of us. I really appreciate it, Thomas. You know, one of the things people say, well, if you don't make money selling computers, Thor, why do you sell computers? It's kind of a necessary thing. You know, when you have somebody come in and their computer is toast, you know, am I going to recommend an HP? Am I going to recommend a Dell? In some cases, like with the holiday special, we went with Dells because those were special Dells that were built for what we were doing. Most Dells that people get are junk. Most high HP laptops that people get are junk. So yeah, we like the Asus laptops, but even those we modify because they're not quite as good as we would like. So we go through do all the modifications and everything on them. We sell the computers because it's part of the service model. People tend to bring computers back to where they bought them for their service. So if we can sell you a computer and you end up using us for service going forward, you know, over the length of time, over the decades of our relationship together, we will have many opportunities to make a very reasonable amount of money providing you with services that you must have. There is no need for us to make $300, $400, $500 selling you the computer up front. It's just not necessary. And we would prefer to actually make our money and make our living providing you with goods and services over time that you actually need and want. So it's a different way of looking at things than most accountants would give us reason to. But I'm sure, as we start to expand, which, guys, we are gearing for expansion over at Schrock. Everything we're doing over there is geared to adding service centers in far-flung areas, including these Facebook broadcasts, if I might add. Yeah, if you want Schrock Innovations in your neighborhood, if you're listening from out of state right now, this is the place to get your state. And I'm the one who's going to pick, right? So I know Round Rock. I know Round Rock. I know you're there. Round Rock, Texas wants a Schrock real bad. Gotcha. Las Vegas wants a Schrock. I've heard you guys. I've heard you. I've heard from Montana too. So if you're somewhere in the middle, I've heard from North Lincoln as well. They're really tired of driving across the city of Lincoln to get to South Lincoln. It takes as long to drive across Lincoln as it does to drive from Lincoln to Omaha. They're two separate. For those of you geographically away, they're two separate cities that are like an hour apart driving, and it takes more than an hour to drive across Lincoln because it's just there's no interstates, there's no beltways, there's no freeways, and there's only 3 through streets that go across the entire city, the 10-mile wide city. It takes almost an hour to go 10 miles in Lincoln. Little Rock, Arkansas, okay. Chris Schrock, wait a minute. Chris Schrock? Are you a relation? Is this a joke, Mr. Schrock? No, that's all right. Or are you of the infamous Schrock Cabinet Company? A little thing I like to do once in a while. I know we've hit the big time when I can just type in Schrock on a computer and hit enter and have it bring up in the Google search Schrock Innovations above the Schrock Cabinet Company. I'll know we've hit the big time then, because they make some darn good cabinets, let me tell you what. Yes, sir, no, sir. See, there's a delay. I said that stuff like 45 seconds ago, so now I have no idea what you're agreeing to. But that's okay. That's okay. I'm glad to have you. Little Rock, Arkansas. All right. Okay, so let me see here. I was going to look at something. Oh, yeah, I was going to send an email. So, yeah, last call for questions. If you've got anything to ask, now's the time to ask it, and then I'm going to get out of here and get some donuts and get on home to the fam. So let me know what you got. I'm a goal guy, as in basketball. Oh, cool. All right. So, we don't expect the update to come out next week. We did get some during the Facebook show. People commented asking where is the ultimate upgrade? You guys usually do that in April. We do. If you're, it's something we can do. I know you're coming in to look at a computer today, Thomas. If you want to look at the ultimate upgrade, you can. It is the Resolute, though. It's always the ultimate upgrade is always the low-end computer. It's the Boundless and the Resolute. Again, I would encourage you for your mom to buy something that's got a little more upgradability to it. During the ultimate upgrade sale, we have this, and then we say, or you can get this for a little bit more. But the ultimate upgrade is the time when it's the cheapest time you can buy a computer at Schrock. So everybody coming in is looking for a super good deal. So we don't get upsells, we don't get data transfers. People don't buy the antivirus. I mean, it's stupid. People don't buy stuff that they actually need just because they're looking for a great deal. And everything, these are the people that come in and they're like, everything you're trying to sell me is a ripoff. I just want this. That's all I want. That's all I brought in specifically enough money. Oh, sales taxes. Bah. I'm gonna write a check for the taxes, So that's what happens during the ultimate upgrade. But I would encourage you to take a look at the middle of the line computers there. All righty. Got to wrap it up, guys, but thank you for joining us on the show today. I appreciate it. Also, if you haven't had the chance to do it yet, if you could vote for us in the Omaha Choice Awards, I believe it is omaha.com/choice, if I remember right. We'll see if that pulls up anything. But basically, the Omaha Choice Awards is the kind of like a best of Omaha. And I know some of you are not in Omaha, but when does that stop anybody on the internet? We're just a big happy family, right? And when we get into Little Rock, when there's like the best of Little Rock, we're going to put that on here. We'll say, vote for us in best of Little Rock, guys. Come on. We need the Schrock core groupies to carry us into the new market, right? Because we're going to launch the radio show first, and we're going to let that roll for about a year in that market. And then we're going to see how it goes. We're going to watch online to see, are people purchasing Safe Upgrade? Are people getting Endpoint? Are people buying Secure Updater in this new market? And if they are, that means the radio show is resonating, which means it can probably support a service center. Then we'll put in a service center, probably a small service center. In fact, the new Papillion Service Center, you may have noticed, is roughly half the size of our other service centers. Could it be a test model for a smaller Schrock Service Center, say 1,600 square feet? Why, by George, it may be right. It is a smaller test model. So everything's coming together, guys. Now we're working on our new ticket management system that is going to automate many communication features and help us even take our service to a higher level. Once that's done, we'll have all the pieces of the puzzle in place. All right, I'm sure we're kin. Hey, inside joke, isn't everybody in Arkansas? Oh, gosh. This isn't how you make friends, is it? Darn it. I'm just giving you a hard time, man. All right, thanks for listening, guys. I appreciate it. Give us a vote there if you have the chance to do it, and we'll be back again next week. Oh, secret insider tip. No one's supposed to know this yet. That's why I couldn't say it on the radio. Scripps Media canceled the Omaha Morning Blend. Not just in Omaha, but they canceled all of them. They had morning blends. They had one in Las Vegas. They had one in Florida in the Villages. They had one in Phoenix, I think. They canceled all of them. They have Kelly Pickler and Ben something. They're going to do Ben and Kelly is their morning show that they own, and they're going to pipe that into Omaha. So we actually are going to lose our Omaha Morning Blend segments. Now, we have the option to do 2-minute segments with Mike DiGiacomo as a commercial inside the Ben and Kelly show. But, yeah, I don't know. Well, we'll see what we do with that. But yeah, so I just thought I'd throw that out there that they're done in May. So, yeah. So if you know Kayla over there, you tell Kayla that Schrock's the place to be. Wink, wink, nod, nod. Yeah, I mean, life presents you with challenges, and within those challenges, there are always opportunities. All right, guys, have a great afternoon. Be safe out there today. We'll see you next week.